School had gotten started. And I always, early in the school year when I'm the superintendent or principal, I move around, see what's going on in the school. And I knew, you don't want to visit the teachers that are new to the building first. I went to the ones that were returning teachers that had been there with Evergreen Junior High when it was a combined junior-senior high school. Couldn't have been more pleased. Every classroom starting well. Kids are responsive. Teachers are doing a good job. You can see that we're going to have a good year. Really pleased. But then came the time that I walked down the hall, back through the hall, out the back door, crossed a little bridge to the temporary that was across the little stream right behind the school. Vocal music class out there. A veteran teacher, not a beginning teacher by any means, at least in terms of age. Now, I don't know about experience. And I go in there, and I hardly have opened the door, and I realize, whoa, things are different here. We're not having the kind of experience here that we're having every place else. But I thought, maybe some kids really pulled a dumb thing, and she's upset, and it'll all be all right here in a couple of minutes. So I'm sitting there just waiting and watching. Doesn't get better. In fact, I began to realize this lady is baiting these kids. She's agitating these kids to get them to be negative. What in the world? Well, wait a little longer. I suppose spend 15 or 20 minutes, which is about as long as I spent in anybody's classroom on this initial tour of business. I just said, well, might as well get out of here. But I moved up and put my body between her and the class and bent over and said, Mrs. Brown, come by the office before you leave tonight, and left. Well, the day ended. Kids have left, a lot of the teachers have left, and I'm thinking, I don't believe that lady's going to come in. But she did come in, and she was primed. She let me know that this was a bad school and these are bad kids. Well, I said, give me some examples. What had gone on in there that today or in the days, the 2, 3, 4 days, whatever it was, of school, what's been going on in there that's convinced you that these are such bad kids? I said, I visited over half of the classrooms already, and I haven't found anybody unhappy. I haven't had any reason to feel bad about the kids or about the teachers. What's happened? Well, these kids are bad. Well, I said, I'm not going to argue with you, but that's not what I'm seeing in general, and I hope you will do some thinking and make a little different approach. I said, frankly, it seemed to me that in some ways you were baiting the kids for the way you were speaking to them and the way you were acting. You were asking them to be bad. Boy, she didn't like to hear that at all and left in a huff and missed the next 2 days of school. Well, when she came back after her little absence, she didn't come by the office, didn't say, how do you do, I was sick or anything. She just was back at school. Well, I waited till the end of the day, and I intercepted her, and I said, hey, were you sick? Did your absence have anything to do with our conversation the other day? Absolutely not. Okay, I believed her. And I didn't go in that day, of course, and I waited, but I didn't wait, I suppose, more than a week, if that. I went back in, exactly the same environment, exactly the same attitudes emanating from the teacher. Man, I went back to my office and picked up the phone and called Dr. Romine, that gentleman that was hiring our best students there at Phillips University and that had hired me. I said, Dr. Romine, I don't know what's going on, but I've got a problem with one of the teachers. And he said, who is it? And I told him. And he said, what's going on? And I told him. And I said, when she came back the second time, after she again missed 2 more days of school, she brought in this morning, that was just this morning, and she brought in a letter of resignation. It was silent. Not very long, 15 or 20 seconds. Dr. Romine said, "Did you say her resignation is on your desk now?" "Yes, sir." He said, "Get up now. Leave the school immediately and bring me that letter." He said, "I've made a mistake." He said, "I don't make many mistakes," but he said, "I've made a heck of a mistake here. Bring me the letter." I brought him the letter, and before the day was over, she was gone. And Mrs. Olson, the wife of Bill Olson, our neighbor out at Bowers Spruce Island, was a sub-teacher and ended up being the teacher from then on of vocal music. And you know what? Mildred's one of those laid-back teachers, experienced teacher. Kids had a great time in music. And those bad kids were just as good as they could be. I'll never know what it really was with Mrs. Brown and those kids. Now, were they all angels? Heck no, they were junior high kids. But you sure don't want to bait a junior high kid with the attitude that says, "I think you're bad," or they'll show you what bad is. And it won't be like this new deal where they say bad and mean good.